Hey guys, so I'm going to be talking about the Rimworld multiplayer mod. This is a really old mod that was now revamped and re-updated to 1.1 and now works with royalty DLC. So I'm going to be talking about how to host a server, how to resync to a server if you desync and how that mechanically works, and how to host with mods and what mods are stable and will prevent desync from happening. Alright, let's get started. So first things first, I need to talk about how to host a server. So you'll have two ways to host a server. One, from the main menu, you can click multiplayer. You can go over to host. Host. Please, thank you. And this will bring up all of your current save files. Ones that have been hosted in multiplayer before. And if we go down, we also see a single player tab. And these are your single player save files that you can host on multiplayer servers as well. Maps you have already hosted on multiplayer, and maps you have not hosted on multiplayer. So that's how that works. You can't actually create a multiplayer, I want to start my new game with my friend. You can't actually start a new game from this menu. You actually have to start a new game in single player, and then turn that single player game into a multiplayer game, if that makes any sense. I'll explain how to actually, say if I wanted to start a new save file with my friend. I have to go to new game, start scenario, choose all my stuff, and we'll get into the game. Once you've started a new game, you'll be able to click escape or open this menu in the bottom right hand corner, and you'll see a host server button at the top of your list. Click this button, you'll be greeted with a menu. So you can choose a game name, maximum players, how often it autosaves, if it pauses on autosave, can you direct connect? Can they connect from a LAN connection? Can they connect from a Steam connection? So you can actually invite your friends through the Steam interface. Async timing, separate time controls for each map, and the planet. So this is a new feature they're added with the 1.1 update. Essentially, say if you have a buddy that's living in one colony, and you're living in another colony, so you started your game, and you've created two separate colonies, and he's simply managing one colony, and you're simply managing the other colony. This would allow the two colonies to have different time synchronization, so one guy can run his colony at normal speed, and the other guy can run his colony at double or triple speed. It's really interesting. I like this a lot. Desync traces, so this is if they're experimenting with new mods and the mods have synchronization problems with multiplayer. This produces a log and kind of records the problems for developers to patch out. Some mods work really well and some mods don't work at all. We're going to go through that in the mod section. And Arbiter. So how the Arbiter works is it's essentially a third player on your server, and if all players desync, he pauses the server and then for you, and it makes it easier for you to resync the server, because if all players desync, technically time is still running unless you have the Arbiter in there and the Arbiter says, hold on a second, the player is no longer synced to the server, I should pause the server and let the player sync up. He's actually pretty useful. I could be wrong on my explanation of Arbiter, but that's generally how I understand it works. I mean, if we read what it says here, it says a background game instance which helps with desync detection / solving. Running without Arbiter is unsupported. So likely they'll encourage you to actually run with this. So if you do ever desync, what will happen is you're going to reload at fast forward speed from the last autosave file or the last real save file. We'll explain that when we talk about reconnection to the server if it desyncs. So if I click host here, so when I click host, it shows me the server LAN IP in the top left hand corner briefly, so I can make a mental note of that. And now I also have a chat window in the top right. So when someone tries to join the game, I have to approve their connection, and I'll do that through this interface. There'll be a little prompt right here saying, do you want to accept so-and-so, and you can accept. And there's also an icon which currently shows you your current connection and your tick. You are, so many ticks behind it. It shows you your current connection. Right now we have a good connection because our ticks are up to date. We can also convert back to a single player save, and we can save the replay, which is essentially saving the place where you are currently in the multiplayer. So it's technically might not be at up to date with the server, you might be a few ticks behind, but it'll save your current location. You can do this if, say, a player is having trouble to resyncing. You can save the game, you can take the server down, rehost it with that save file, and they will sync from the save file. So it helps players resync if you're having a lot of trouble. I hope that I explained that well. It's kind of, I did my best. Full saves load faster, but save slower and are only available to the host. So because it has to autosave so often to ensure people can sync up easily back to the server when it desyncs, I guess they only do a half save or a partial save rather than doing a full save, just to help optimize performance. When you try to resync, it's going to take you back to the closest autosave to where the server is synced up to, and then you will play in fast motion and try to resync with where the server currently is. So saving often will make these synchronization periods, if you do go out of sync, shorter. Lastly, let's cover mod stability. So if you're like an OG multiplayer mod player like me, you'll remember a massive Google spreadsheet. They used to have all of this on a big Google spreadsheet of what mods were good and what mods was bad, and the ranking system was 0 to 4, and now they have it in-game. So we can see this Animal Gear mod has MP, multiplayer compatibility, 0, unknown, please report any findings to the Discord server and an appropriate chat channel. And if we go take a look at Android Steve, we see partially works, but major features don't work. What you want to be looking for is the number 4, where it says everything's a-okay. You can use threes as well. I don't suggest you use any 2s. Let's just see if I can't find a 3 in my own list. Here we are, Rimworld fridges. Mostly works, some minor features don't work. Changing temperature of the fridge does not sync, but fridges are usable fine at default temperature. So it kind of tells you what the desync issue is and how to avoid it. For the most part, they're pretty safe, but if you want to, actually have a really good, enjoyable experience, try to only choose mods that are completely compatible. That way you won't have as many desync issues, and the game will overall run better. Obviously, stay away from any 1s. It just does not work, and it just says just no. That's pretty much about it. I'm going to end the video with a little bit of gameplay with me and Jake enjoying multiplayer. Essentially, it's just exactly what you think of it. It's just picture playing a normal game, except he's got his mouse and you got your mouse, and you're both just building a city together and playing Rimworld together. This mod achieves something I never expected out of my Rimworld experience, and that's cooperative multiplayer play. And it is wonderful. I've always kind of thought about this because you can play it in 2 different ways. You can play multiplayer in 2 different ways. Either you both can have your own separate colonies on the world map, and then you can kind of like send help back and forth to each other and then play essentially on your own colonies but in the same world map and interact with each other, trade, help each other with raids, move around. It's really interesting. Or you can build on the same colony together and really co-op it together and help each other move pawns around, construct new buildings. It's really cool. An interesting thought I've always thought about with this mod is that what if they could make this a PvP element? What if I can control one colony, he can control another colony, but we're limited to controlling each other's pawns? Like I can control my 5 pawns and he can control his 5 pawns, but we can make them hostile to each other and attack each other and raid each other. It's a really interesting idea and thought. I don't know how feasible it is, but right now for what multiplayer offers you, it's like I would have paid more money for this game if they told me I could have multiplayer with this. Multiplayer, guys. Multiplayer. Rimworld. Like, seriously. I hope you guys have yourselves a nice day. Stay safe out there and have a good one. So if I right click on your name, do I get
I'm waiting for the host to accept.
Invite to play.
Waiting for the host to accept.
Okay, so let me...
Timed out.
Ooh, I can actually accept you.
Yes.
Okay, how are you in the game? Okay, I see you in chat. You're simulating, and you're in. Oh, nice, that's your cursor. Oh, you have a different selection color. You like red.
You're red for me.
I wonder if I can change your color. No, I don't think so. Interesting. So can you start and stop time from the bottom right or from the top?
I can just spacebar it.
Can you increase and decrease speed? No? Yes?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
It doesn't seem to change my speed. Hold on. Go triple speed.
No, here. Triple speed.
Oh, it does. It does. Okay, it does.
Toggle on and off.
Okay. Cool. Alright, basically we have to play the game for like 3 hours, so I have footage to play with later.
We're not playing it for 3 hours.
We'll play for 20 minutes.
Nice meme.
So you just laid down a dumping stockpile.
Yep.
Can you change some stuff inside the dumping stockpile?
Yeah, it's the same as a regular stockpile. You
Okay.
just preset to only accept, you know, chunks and corpses.
Okay, cool. Can you drag a floor into the room just because it's a good demo footage for the video? Plus,
let's see, find sandstone tile. Yes.
we don't have any of that though.
No, don't worry, it's good for your video.
I hate.
Besides, this is a lot of wood. Actually, we do have enough wood, I guess.
Yeah, it's a small house.
We should probably make beds first, though.
Yeah, I'll throw down some beds. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to make like a 3-minute segment where I talk about what the mod is, what it does, and then I'm like, here's a little bit of gameplay. And then it's just me and you doing this stuff. I always forget how fast triple speed actually is. I get to use it so little in my main game because it lags. Can you draft Jacob and walk him around? No, the other... Okay, fine, I'll take this guy. You draft... Okay, that's cool.